Welcome back to another episode, one that we've done before, one that we're real familiar with. This is the I'm Not a Hater podcast featuring your favorite not hater, Mr. Brown. Listen, another school year is approaching. You may feel good about it, you may feel indifferent, but listen, I'm back with more tips just to help everybody have a successful school year at their respective schools. We did this last year, and I hope that if you guys have checked that out, you have. Um, if not, it's still on YouTube. You can check it out right now. But I'm back with more tips, like I said before, just to help you have a successful school year. The first thing, you gotta go to school, okay? And it may sound like a small thing, but listen, being in school as a student is very important. If you're not there, you can't learn. You're gonna miss important information, and it's gonna leave you behind. So listen, whatever you got to do to push through on those days when it may be snowing or you just mentally don't feel like it. Um, it's gonna be tough, right? Because every day isn't roses, every day isn't easy, but you got to push through and come to school, okay? Um, and like the parents may not want to drop you off at the bus stop. You don't want to stand in the cold, but you still got to push through. So parents, I'm relying on you at that point to give the students positive vibes so that they realize school is important and it's definitely a priority. Listen, we all have those type of days. I have them as well when I don't want to go to work. I don't feel like it, but I got to push through because somebody's kid is leaning on me to help them get through their day or provide them some type of positivity to get through their day, or a lesson or something of importance to get through their day. So I have to keep that in mind on those type of days when, again, I don't necessarily feel like it. um I have to remember my reason for being there, and for the students, your reason for being there is to learn, is to get as much information as possible so you can be the best student you can be and be productive in society. Okay. Now, just like last year, for the parents, reach out to the teacher. Let them know that you're in their corner. It's a huge, huge win to have parental support in the classroom. It lets the teacher and your student know that, you've invested in their education. Like many times, the kids feel like, oh, my mom or my dad don't care, so I don't have to take it serious. But if you reach out to that teacher and you let them know that, hey, I'm here if you need to call on me. If, my student is acting up or acting crazy, you need to call me at any point. Just here's my number. You really don't realize how huge that is in the support game as far as it goes, right? Because it helps cut out those trouble moments when you know that you could call a parent and the kid actually has like respect and reverence for the parent, right? Because that also plays a part. If they are somewhat, I guess you could say, afraid of their parent, um you're not gonna have as many issues out of them, right? Older kids won't be cutting class, younger kids won't be causing disturbances. And listen, we all think that our kids are super innocent, but in truth, like once they get around their friends and get to school, they start cutting up, cutting class, being little menaces or whatever you want to call them. But they act different, right? Because I've seen it pretty much all. I've seen the best kids do it, I've seen the worst kids do it. They all misbehave when they get to school because they're not around their parents as I guess you would say when they're at home or on the weekends or whatever the case is. They're in a different place with different rules, so they're gonna act accordingly. And that's just what it is, right? Now, this probably should have been said first, but listen, get the kids off the summer routines. Get them back to reality. That means bedtimes. I know in my household growing up, but the week before school started, you had to go back to going to bed at the regular time, or you had to practice getting up, get yourself together for the day, and it just helps you maintain that focus for the year. I still do it in my adult life, working in the school. So a week before work starts, I get back into my routine, going to bed at a certain point, getting up, getting myself together, and moving accordingly. So get your kids up. They're gonna hate it, right? But it's got to be done, so they won't be caught off guard on the first day. And it sets the tone. It lets them know, like, listen, school's coming back around. As much as they hate to hear it or hate to see it, it is what it is. Like the school day, is coming, whether they want to believe it or not. So get them back on their routines, slowly but surely. If you haven't already, you might want to start today. Try to pour into the children positivity. Okay, don't yell at them before dropping them off in the morning. I've seen this again plenty of times when you yell at the kid. They get out the car, they come in the building, and they raise all types of hell because you made them upset for whatever reason. They ain't washed the dishes or whatever the case is, whatever they've done. Or they was moving slow. They just never get it together after you yell at them. And it starts their day off on a negative tone. And like I said, for most of them, it's hard. It's very, very hard for them to recover and come back from it. Now, the main reason I'm focused on this is because, listen, there aren't many staff in the building at these schools anymore, for whatever reason, various reasons. There aren't individuals anymore that can handle meltdowns. Their positions have been cut, right? This is just the reality of the school system in 2025. So we need you to start your kids off on the right path every day if you can. Listen, I know some days they're not going to listen. They're not going to follow directions, but save the yelling for after school. It helps us all if you allow them to come in and they are not affected by your attitude in the morning. It's very helpful for the school. The more positive, smiling faces we see, the better off our day is going to be. Trust and believe that much. Like I said before, everybody's going to need some grace. We're all going into uncharted territory. No Department of Education to speak of. Tight budgets, not many staff or supplies in the school system. So parental buy-in is going to be very, very important in the situation. I believe that if we work together, though, everybody can truly have a successful school year. And that's really the point. Everybody being a success this year, whether it's scores going up on tests or just students obviously learning things they haven't learned before. I feel like if we all work together, like we all play our parts, right? And I'm on both sides of the coin when it comes to playing the part, because I'm not only a staff member, right, not only an educator, but I'm also a parent. So I go through it on both sides. I try to be as present and involved with my own kids being in school, as well as being there for the kids that are in my school, like being both sides of the coin. And that's not always easy either. It is difficult, but again, you're charged with working with kids that some of them come from different places. They don't always get the support that they need, so you are there to give them that support and give them that positive push, but also saving enough energy to give your own kids that same positive push, right? So it's not always an easy thing to do, but it's necessary, and it does help, especially being a black male in education, right? There's not many of us. I mean, I think I saw the other day the viral video of all the black gentlemen that were working in the school, and I laughed a little bit because I was like, man, if I did that video, it would just be me and like one other person. And I was like, dang, I can't even do that video. It'd be like 3 people. That video would be like 10 seconds. So I guess that's like my little plug. Like, if you're a black male and you are in education, like stay the course, because the kids need to see more examples like us in the school. I think it does wonders for the young men to see us in the school in whatever capacity it may be. As long as we're being a positive role model for them, I think it definitely does help. And it may help the young ladies too, but I know for the gentlemen, I know it's a positive thing for a lot of them, because again, a lot of them come from the single parent environment. There's no real male role model in the house, and for them to see us working in education and actually caring about them, it does something for the ones that are very interested. Now, there are the other ones who really don't care, but again, like I said, for the ones that are interested, seeing us in the school building and helping out and doing our thing, it's got to do something for their minds. Again, like last year, again, plenty of things I could repeat. I could say, Let's see. Uh, what did I tell you last year? Listen, again, be helpful when it comes to the work. You know, if you don't understand it, call the teacher, email the teacher, whatever the case is. Don't be afraid to ask those questions, because there's no sense in the kid not completing the assignment because nobody knew what to do. And like I said before, teachers are always available, even though they try to say that they're not. They will answer emails, they'll answer texts, they'll answer phone calls. I've seen it. Uh, when you don't understand whatever the assignment may be, just don't let it sit there. um, don't let it sit there and not get done because nobody wants to reach out. um Again, get involved in whatever your school may be having going on, PTO, PTA, whatever the case is. um Show your kids. Again, I'm very, very big on saying this: show your kids that you care about their education. If it is joining a school organization, or pulling up to the dance and providing snacks or food for it, it just shows your kids that, like, you really invested in the stuff that they got going on. They won't think that you don't really care. um you know and all those type of things. Listen, I'm gonna say this again for those parents who are dropping the kids off at kindergarten: get your pictures when you leave the house. Don't, because they're not letting you in the building, so get them while you're outside. Because once those doors open, and I'll probably be one of those people opening my school doors on the first day. Once those school doors open, that's it. They walking in to a brave new world by themselves, alone. And don't linger and do all that crying stuff, because again, if they see you doing it, they're gonna start to get uneasy. They're gonna start to cry, and now we got a whole big mess that we got to try to fix each and every day, because that's gonna be a point of reference for them to start crying when you drop them off. And we don't necessarily want to have to deal with that every single day. Like, we understand the first day, okay, it may be a little rough, but at a certain point, we're gonna need them to put the big boy and big girl pants on, come on into school, eat their breakfast, and start their day. uh, and that's just a reality. Like, again, I've seen mostly everything that I'm speaking about. I have seen as my time as an educator. Again, I'm just pointing these things out so that we don't make these mistakes as parents as well. Entering whatever school year or school system you may be going into. Listen, I'm not an expert. I'm just giving you what I've seen. Okay, I'm a parent and an educator at the same time, so I try to give as much help as I can possible. Um, this one wasn't long because, again, this is year 2. It should be less and less things we have to go over, because we went over most of them in year 1. With that being said, though, listen, I'm not a hater. I want everybody to have a successful school year, whether it be staff or students or parents, etc. Listen, if you feel like your child is not getting what they need, and you feel like they have to have an IEP or what have you, please, please, please have those conversations, have those meetings, whatever it may be. Don't sit by and let those tests and things go by without them being had. Sign your kids up. It's not a death sentence. It'll actually help them in the future. So definitely make sure you're doing that. Like I said, be there. Show your kids that you care. Kids, work hard, right? Don't take the easy way out. Chat GPT, etc. What's the other thing they use? Whatever else they be using, don't use it. Use your brains. Tap into what your brain actually has, and everything shouldn't be on computers. But that's just my thing. I don't want to be the old man on the on the lawn, but tap into your brain power. Everybody is intelligent in some way, shape, or form. Definitely show it during this school year. And yes, last thing, when your parents ask you how was your day at school, answer the question, please. Like, don't sit there and act like you don't hear them, because it drives your parents crazy. As a kid who used to do it, as a person who used to do it back in the day when I was younger, it drove my mom crazy when I would say, "Oh, my day was good," and never give her any details. So she switched up the question on me, and I was stuck, and then I was forced to give details. So, oh yeah, parents, there are different questions you can ask. Um, what's one way you were helpful today, or what's one person that you played with today, etc. Just switch it up. Don't always ask them how their day was. They're gonna tell you it was good, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent. Just remember that. But listen, once again, I hope everybody has a successful school year. I hope everybody does well, and I will see you on the next episode. Peace and love.